Welcome to the largest PvP infantry battle in gaming history. You heard me right. Every single one of these infantrymen is a real player. We've got two armies on the field today, the Knights of Bretonnia versus the Coalition clans, but only one can claim victory. Let's find out which. I've got two battles for you today, guys. The first one takes place in the open plains. We join the Coalition forces as they form up and head towards the front line. We've just gone past the Knights Hospitaller. Coronis Ibericus are also just in front here, heading forwards. Guys, there's something about an open field battle that just looks magnificent. Look at all the clans forming up, their banners waving in the wind. You just don't get scenes like this in castle battles. We're currently in the setup phase, but I think we're only a few seconds away from the real action. Coronis Ibericus are on the Coalition right flank. They're leading the charge, making steps towards the enemy. Almagavas here are also coming in to bolster their ranks. Just look down the battle lines, guys. We're witnessing almost 600 players stare each other down. The Coalition on the left, the Bretonnians on the right. Blood Diamond are way in the back there. I hope they know what they're doing. Those troops are going to be needed on the front really soon. You can just feel the tension in the air. Both sides are preparing for the charge. It's like they're playing chicken, but who's going to break first? And the Bretonnians go in. They're being led by the king's own unit, Curon. They head towards the kingdom of Hordeland, and this is it, guys. Swords clash, and the battle officially begins. Let's see what we're dealing with here and head down the battle line. I know it can look a bit hectic, but just remember we've got the Coalition on the right, the Bretonnians on the left. The Coalition are a number of smaller clans that group up in order to match the Bretonnian numbers. The Bretonnians, on the other hand, are one single clan, one kingdom, broken down into many duchies that all have their own heraldry and branding. Just look at the numbers at the top of the screen. The Coalition have about 15 more men than the Bretonnians. A small advantage, but it's not a clear win yet. In the back lines, you can see the Coalition archers getting pop shots. We're now entering the second phase of the battle. Less than half the troops remain on the field. Typically, the best troops from both sides survive till this point in the round. That means we're going to see some interesting fighting as things come to a climax. The Bretonnians are behind on numbers, but I can see Mouzalon there fighting their best to try and claw things back. Smaller pockets of fighting are now breaking out. That large battle line we saw at the beginning has dissolved into a number of smaller fights across the plain. Those smaller battles come to an end, and we've now got two smaller forces from both sides grouped up. This is it, guys, the final charge. Can the Bretonnians bring it round and win the day? You've got to hand it to the boys of Aquitania and Mouzalon here. They're massively at a disadvantage, but they're fighting on regardless. I think, guys, what we're witnessing now is an Alamo-style battle. It's a last stand as the Coalition come charging in to take out the remaining stragglers from the BRE. Let's see if they can get some final kills in. The Kingdom of England there sweep in, and that's it, guys. That seals the deal. It's a Coalition victory for this round. But stay put, I've got a second battle for you, which is even more epic. The second round begins, and this time we're heading towards the tree canopy in the distance. It's still going to be quite an open battle. The keen viewers will probably have noticed there's a lack of cavalry on the field today. I think the rules for this engagement was infantry and archers only. That made for an interesting dynamic for sure. Normally you've got to look out for cavalry charges from the rear, but for this battle, the infantry can focus all of their attention forwards. If you want to see what cavalry looks like in these games, check out some of my other videos. I've got plenty of footage to show you. Anyway, back to the battle at hand. Knights Hospitaller and Kingdom of England move to the left. They're looking to plug the gap in the Coalition lines. The Bretonnians are in the distance there, and the Coalition are all formed up, ready for the fight ahead. Let's move to the Bretonnian lines and check out their setup. With so many troops on the field and so many colours, it can be difficult to tell who's who. Just remember that the Bretonnians are the ones with the taller tower square shields. One of Bretonnia's renowned duchies, Montfort, holds the left flank. Typically, both sides will put their strongest troops on the edges. That makes sure that enemy troops can't flank behind and get in the rear of the main line. The lines, the organisation, this is really channeling gladiator vibes. Do you guys remember that battle at the beginning of the film, under the trees, just like this? I think this fight's gonna give that a run for its money. All the soldiers on the field have their shields raised. No one wants to take an arrow to the face too early. The coalition are getting so close to the Bretonnian lines, they can literally see the whites in their eyes. The Bretonnian right flank is the first to charge. They move in. The coalition spot this and decide to attack on the right as well. The Battle of Round 2 officially begins, and it's a bloodbath. I can see Brion in the centre there fighting off against the Kingdom of England. As we move down the lines, I can see Musalon, the Knights Hospitaller, Aquitani, Coronis Ibiricus, Mortanel, and I think in the distance there I can see the flags from SVCI as well. I've just picked out a legendary fighter, Hubold of Gascony. This guy's going to be racking up a lot of kills. Moving down the lines, you'll also see one guy on horseback, that's Chilfroy of Artinois. He's commanding the Bretonnian forces today. Things are looking pretty even. However, on the coalition left here, they are starting to crumble. The Bretonnians do have the number advantage over here, and they are rolling the coalition up from this side. This is what I meant, guys, about having your best troops on the side. Now that the coalition flanks have crumbled, just watch as their numbers drop dramatically. The numbers were looking very even, but in a matter of seconds, the Bretonnians have got a 30-man advantage. Coalition troops do charge down the hill to reinforce the line, but will it be enough? Oh, I don't know, guys. That Bretonnian flank was super damaging. I'm not sure if the coalition can pull this one back now, but we'll see. They're outnumbered 2-1. Oh, it's going to be so difficult. They're hanging on by a thread. I think, guys, the Bretonnians are going to surge forwards here, and that's it. That's the end of the coalition in this battle. Well done to the Bretonnian forces. It's a victory for them today. Just before we go, let's check out this infantryman from Blood Diamond as he defends against the BRE. Dangorn comes in and gets taken out. Oh, but the Bretonnians are having none of it. They avenge their captain and he goes down. GG, well played.